As Tracer thumped along behind Kagrimpa, the sky above cracked an icy white and pain tore through his head like a ragged machete. He screamed and fell to the ground, staring up at the bottom of the clouds, his mangled arm broken beneath him. He rolled his head in the snow at the bottom of the forbidden bluff that only moments before he'd been atop. Again his ears heard the animal howl, and again his throat felt it. He tried to move his arm, and a different pain gripped him. He howled yet again. At the top of the bluff, a silhouette appeared against the mat of the moonlit clouds. The silhouette brought abstract comfort, as it meant someone knew he was there. Though the movements were abrupt, he recognized by her shoulder-length hair and her narrow shoulders that this was his mother. "Tracer!" she screamed, but when she turned her head in profile, the sky cracked again, and suddenly Kagrimpa stood above him. "Boy Trace, you must get up!" Kagrimpa yelled. Behind the old coyote were the stars again. The mat of the cloud-filled sky had been taken away by the clearness of the night inside the fabric. Tracer realized he was popping back and forth from world to world. Tracer looked at his arm and wiggled his fingers. No injury, all parts fully intact, nothing crushed beneath him as it was through the fabric. "Did I just disappear?" Tracer jumped to his feet. "Boy Trace, listen! We must go! They're gaining on us, and God help us if they get us before we get to the safety of the mountains!" He yanked Tracer's hand. "Who's gaining on us?" Kagrimpa looked over his shoulder as they ran. "What's important now is that we keep ahead of them." He flung his paw back at the battlefield beyond the trees and the foothills. "You see that platoon between the armies? Them! They can't get us! Kagrimpa, I'm not supposed to be here like this. I just need some answers from you, Longatow, and Spantha. I can't go with you on any mission. My mom is back there. I'm hurt. I think I fell from the bluff," Tracer said, trailing Kagrimpa closely now. Tracer felt rejuvenated by the crisp mountain air. "Oh, I don't think you'll have to worry about your mother. You're in serious trouble on both sides of the fabric right now, I'm afraid. This side's no better than that, but then that's how the fabric works, isn't it?" "I don't know how it works. At least, when I'm injured, I don't." Tracer huffed and the sky ripped above him again. He heard his mother's voice and could feel her sobbing as she pressed herself against him. "Oh, Tracer, no!" she pleaded as he felt her arms beneath him. "Boy Trace, listen to me. We can't stop, not even for a moment," Kagrimpa yelled as he ran through the snow. "I'm here for answers," Tracer muttered as he bounded after Kagrimpa up the slope of the mountain. "I didn't mean to fall. Every time you go back through, they gain on us. Stay on this side. You can't do any good on that side now. Your mom will do what she can to save you." "Kagrimpa, I'm confused. What are we running from?" Kagrimpa struggled, clearly holding something back. "I just hate to say it. It's almost as if saying it makes it real, and I can't believe it's real." "What's real? Tell me. The darkness?" "Well, of course the darkness. It's pushing the Order's army back with rockets. What's after us is much worse than the darkness." Kagrimpa swiveled his head and peered past Tracer. "It's the wolves, Boy Trace. Intestine-eating, flesh-ripping, brutality-celebrating, cursed, blasted wolves." On many occasions, Mr. Longatow, Spantha, and Kagrimpa had told Tracer of the wolves. Historically, they were the ones who fought the Order, the ones who tried to shroud the light of the Order in chaos. Even children's stories spoke of them and what to do if you ever happened to cross one. But Mr. Longatow had told Tracer that the wolves had all been banished 500 years before. Things must really be bad in the Order if a platoon of wolves was operating with autonomy, Tracer thought. Wolves? Why wolves? That makes no sense. Boy, Trace, many things have changed in the last year. I'll tell you when we get to safety, but now you must shut up and focus on keeping your heart beating. Because you're at risk of dying, and if you die, all of this, he pointed at the sky, this ends for all of us. You mean dying through the fabric? Not here. I can't die here. Oh, but you can die here, Boy Trace, Kagrimpa said. The fabric cracked around them for an instant. Help is on the way, Tracer. His voice had a timbre that made Tracer want to cry. It sounded like his mother's voice, and then he realized it was his mother's voice. Okay, Tracer said. He didn't know if he was speaking to his mother or to Kagrimpa, though some part of him understood he was speaking to both. Just keep running, and do keep thinking. Thinking will keep your brain alive, Kagrimpa said, and the thought made Tracer shiver. Following Kagrimpa's ominous advice, he occupied his mind by marveling at what had been required to get through the fabric this time. Last year, sitting in his dark room in front of the open closet door seemed like staring into the portal of hell. But instead of monsters coming through, it was Kagrimpa, Mr. Longatow, and Spantha. They would pop through and they would teach him. That alone was pretty strange now that he thought of it. They would teach him of the Order, their magical country, just through the fabric of reality. This year, after all the chaos he'd survived, the edge of fear had become nebulous. Tracer again realized that he could feel his mother's arms cupping him, and he could hear her sobs as what sounded like sirens shimmered somewhere on the other side of the fabric. Stay on this side, damn it! Kagrimpa screamed, but Tracer didn't want to. He wanted to go back now, but he couldn't open his eyes. I can't open my eyes, he screamed, and suddenly he couldn't feel his mother holding him any longer. Oh no, I can't make myself go back, he screamed. I'm stuck on this side, aren't I? Tracer blurted. Or am I dead? Did I just die? Everything feels so different. He looked at his hand as he ran behind Kagrimpa. Heavens no, not yet anyway. You're slipping deeper though. We need to get to the Shandig Ravine. We'll lose those wolves there, Boy Trace. Listen to me. We cannot get caught by the wolves. If we do, you'll die on both sides of the fabric. The voice was all Kagrimpa again, and the stars above stark and clear. At the ravine, we'll have the opportunity to shake those demons for a while. You'll stabilize, I think, and we can discuss who's stuck where and why. Kagrimpa's ear shot up. Listen! He froze. Tracer stopped, and through the night the siren carried, but it wasn't the siren. It was the howl of the wolves. Dear God, they're signaling. Probably another platoon ahead of us. He pulled out his short sword and handed it to Tracer. We still have an outside chance of making it, of surviving, Boy Trace. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think so. Tracer looked down at the sword that he realized he didn't know how to use. Good. Kagrimpa slid a dagger from a sheath in his boot and worked it in his paw before he spun it twice. We have one shot to get across the bridge if they aren't waiting there for us already. If they are waiting for us, Kagrimpa looked at Tracer sternly, then we fight. But the two of us against a platoon, it probably means they lost you through the fabric, and that's where it would end. Let's hope there's nothing waiting.